Real-world assets in crypto are exploding. And if you think DeFi's next surge is all about meme coins, think again. Tokenized treasuries, stocks, real estate, even fine wine are quietly morphing DeFi into traditional finance on-chain. RWAs are turning into the backstage MVPs of Web3, and you need to know why. As usual, I'm not giving you any financial advices here, and I encourage you to do your own research. Imagine slicing a $10 trillion US Treasury market into tiny fractions and trading them at midnight. Or picture your grandma owning tokenized rental property from her phone. That vast world of possibility? That's the real world asset tokenization, vibing under DeFi service. It is real, as it says it in the name. No feeble NFT art, just pure financial utility. Here's the truth though, stablecoins still anchor RWAs. Fiat-backed coins jumped from $127 billion in early 2024 to $266 billion by the end of July this year. That's an increase of $139 billion, over 100%. Tether and Circle own most, but yield-bearing newcomers like USDTB and USDO are biting market share. The top management consultant firm McKinsey predicted 2025 to be a stablecoin inflection point, with clearer regulations under MiCA in Europe and the Genius Act now signed by Trump in the US. Treasury's on-chain leapt too. CoinGecko estimated tokenized T-bill products at $5.5 billion by April 2025, a 539% surge since January 2024. BlackRock and Securitizer's BUIDL fund alone controls 45%. Some more data from KeyRock. Tokenized treasuries doubled over 5 months in 2024, driven by yield-linked stablecoins like US Yield Coin, USYC, and platforms cutting securitization costs by 90-70%. Private credit is creeping back as well. After 2022's slump, active loans hit $558 million in April 2025. That's a 21% increase year over year. Crypto.com research shows the market topped $14 billion total value lock by mid-2025, growing 42% in 6 months as institutions chase yield beyond 0% stablecoins. Maple Finance leads with $374 million outstanding, backed by its Syrup USDC staking token. Tokenized equities remain in an emerging phase still. About $500 million today, but Tiger Research envisions 1% of global equity will be tokenized by 2030. That's a $1.33 trillion opportunity. This figure alone is worth a like, so drop it down below right now. Major exchanges from Robinhood to Coinbase are lining up launches promising 24/7 fractional trading under emerging SEC guidance. Commodities aren't left out either. Gold-backed tokens reached $1.9 billion by April 2025. That's 68% increase. And Tether Gold and PaxG cover 84% of that cap. Niche projects exist, yes, but liquidity concentrates in those two. More on them a bit later in the video. But what is the dark horse of RWA? Real estate tokenization. ScienceSoft forecasts a $3 trillion market by 2030 as regulators catch up. Early pilots from Elevated Returns and Realty proved fractional property works, and Middle Eastern banks are launching native stablecoins tied to hospitality assets on the XRP ledger. Regulations are the wild card, guys. MiCA's stablecoin rules and delegated regulations in the EU set disclosure and conflict interest standards. The US Genius Act gives federal and state oversight to payment stablecoins, though it won't fully take effect until 2027 at the earliest. Potential CBDC pilots, such as the digital euro, would add another layer of competitive cash on-chain. It's not a straight line up, though. April 2025 saw the tokenized property project Mantra collapse, wiping out 90% of its OM token value overnight. Private credit TVL is still shy of 2022's $1.6 billion peak too. Tokenized stocks are still facing grey area with the SEC uncertainty. And when big banks flood in, will DeFi native automated market makers get crowded out? Remains to be seen. I personally will be following up on it, and if you don't want to miss that, then subscribe to the channel right now. Before we make predictions about the broader RWA market, it makes sense that we take a look at some practical examples of RWA crypto tokens and their utility. Starting with PAX Gold, or PAXG. Each token here represents 1 troy ounce of physical gold stored in vaults, offering crypto liquidity with gold stability. Another gold-backed token similar to PAXG is Tether Gold, or XAUT, providing blockchain exposure to physical precious metals. Moving away from commodities now, here's a fan favorite, Ondo. It tokenizes traditional financial products like US Treasury bills and brings Wall Street yields to DeFi. Now, a token that creates a decentralized credit marketplace is CreditCoin, CTC, which bridges real-world lending to blockchain. And guys, this shortlist wouldn't be complete without the black sheep of RWA, Mantra, with their OM token. I mentioned its drop of 90% overnight, but what does the token do? It is built for regulatory compliant RWA tokenization and targets institutional adoption of on-chain traditional assets. And the last one, Stellar Lumens, XLM, plays its part by enabling fast, low-cost issuance and transfer of RWA tokens across borders. In other words, it is powering a new generation of global financial rails. Now, let's zoom out and see where the RWA market as a whole might be headed. Standard Chart predicts it will be worth $2 trillion by 2028. I say we should expect more compliance-first chains, institutional treasury desks on-chain, and tokenized ETFs. I'm curious about your take on RWA though. What class are you going for? EU treasuries, private credit, tokenized stocks, real estate, maybe even tokenized bottles of fine wine? Let me know in the comments below right now, please. RWAs, guys, aren't a DeFi side quest any longer. They're gradually becoming the main event. I'm Stan from airdrops.com, and at the end, I will conclude with this. I know some of you won't have the patience to wait for RWAs to blow up. I understand. For that reason, I recently made a video on how to land the next 100x cryptos today before they have exploded tomorrow. It's right here for you to see. So go and do it right now. Ciao.